Okay, here we go. On this video, for the third time, you know the nice thing about being bipolar? We don't memorize. We relive. It's relived in our minds, and within a few exceptions, we can recreate anything that's been destroyed. I don't think it's been destroyed. I don't know. I have been naive before, but what I'm doing is I'm recording on my webcam and I'm recording on the video camera. So if the webcam screws up one more time, I have it on camera. I'll just load it on the computer and you're going to get it anyway. So my technical problems are not your problems. This is Satan and his angels who are screwing with my video. I have been allowed by YouTube to broadcast more than 15 minutes because I guess I've been a good boy for once in my life. And when I put it on my camera, I can go for 45 minutes, an hour, it's fine, but it takes so long to download it. So I use my webcam. It takes so little time to download it. But the webcam wasn't set up for the extended period of time, so I was ready to go with a 20 or 30 minute video, and the webcam would shut my ass off at 15 minutes, and I wasn't even half done. So that was wasted. Well, then I thought, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe Satan will get tired of persecuting me. Well, he did. So pretty soon the webcam now goes indefinitely, that I can broadcast indefinitely. Well, I went back to the webcam and I broadcast this twice to YouTube. Just a few minutes ago, it did take the whole amount, but it was processing and it was like at 73%. And I sat down in the chair because I know you don't touch it at 70. You just sit and you shut up and you just sit there. Well, as soon as it saw me, I guess the camera went berserk and it went to 0. I go, geez, that's my second recording. So I have the other camera up here. Anyway, those are sidelines. Here's what we're going to talk about today. Again, I'm getting to be an expert. We're going to talk about testicles, men's testicles, and how the Mormon Church steals them and you will never see them again. Okay, let me recreate. Wait a second, I didn't do this in my last one. Let me do this because when the Mormon, they always read the sex stuff. And if I do this, you know, they won't persecute me and Satan will leave me alone. So let me get some air conditioning with the American flag. All right, so here I'm going to talk to you. And I'm going to use a little bit of my education. I have a master's degree and 28 post credits from Springfield College. Now here's the deal, okay? Where's the beef? Too many of you are young. You don't even know what that means. But the effemination of men is extremely sophisticated in the Mormon Church. Many times we find that women join the church much quicker than men do, and they're much more faithful. They show up to the meetings with 19 kids hanging on them, and you know, it's kind of like how many kids can a Mormon girl put into a Walmart basket, and it's like the Philippines. One more. So anyway, the women are pretty faithful. Now there's a reason for that, okay? This is a very complex psychological cult tactic. And I'm telling you, as a master's level professional, it works. And it works very, very well. And the Mormon Church is basically based on this. Here's how it goes, okay? Those of us who have driven bus, which I have, or trucks, and who have worked with our hands. I was in Union 636 in Los Angeles. I was a glazer, journeyman glazer, and the camera went off. Now I'm just on webcam. What the hell? Ah, Satan is there. He's getting me. God, I hope the webcam keeps going. The camera's shut off. It's never shut off before. You stupid camera. So what happens is that if you're a manly man, gee, if you drink beer or you smoke or you have a beard or a mustache or long hair and you work construction, like I said, I was a glazer and I helped hang the curtain on the outside, the glass on the outside of the high rises, and I would work at 20 stories, 30 stories high. And now the webcam has got messages. Jeez, I'm never going to get this video out. I guess testicles are something you don't talk about. So if you're a manly man and you're a bricklayer or an electrician or you're in the trades, or you're an independent contractor, you have a more difficult time bowing your head and saying yes. When you work construction, you don't bow your head and say yes. The boss will say, get your ass up there. And if you don't right now, you get your last paycheck handed to you and you're gone. And when you're making $35, $40, $50 an hour in high-rise construction, and that was way back in the 70s, that's not a job you walk away from very easily. So pretty soon your girlfriend or your wife lets the missionaries in, and you listen to the lessons and you're saying to yourself, well, this kind of maybe is going to work, but it kind of sucks. Okay, I gotta pay attention. I'm having serious, technical difficulties. Anyway, she'll join the church first. Now, the nice thing about that is you're married and you have access to a vagina. That's a good thing. Men need sex. Women, it's optional. Some girls, they really like it. Some girls could give a rat's ass whether they ever have sex. And of course, most of them after they have kids. What sex? I don't remember. What is it? Okay, so here we go. The church controls morality in the Mormon church very, very heavily. From the very inception, from a 3-year-old, 5-year-old girl in primary, their vaginas belong to the Mormon church. Well, they try to control penises, but if you're a man, there's no controlling penises. There's no way. They just have a mind of their own. The little head thinks better than the big head, maybe. So the little girls are growing up with tremendous morality, is what the Mormon church calls it. I call it sexual repression. But that little machine is a tool that can control men. No doubt about it. So you come home from a hard day at work in Los Angeles and you've been working around the guys all day long, and you're tired, you're sweaty, you got dirty clothes on, put your boots at the front of the house and come in, and she'll say to you, honey, we got to go to the church tomorrow and I have a lesson. Would you mind watching the kids? And you go, crap, I come home, I've been walking up and down a damn staircase, concrete, carrying 50, 60 pounds of bolts up 8 stories, and I'm going to watch the kids. So you try to be a good LDS guy, and you say, okay, I'll watch the baby. Oh, by the way, the breast milk is in the refrigerator, and she won't drink anything but the breast milk. So you go, oh, God. So now you're pouring the breast milk in the bottle, and you're trying to, take care of the kids and trying to be a good father, and you're 23 or 25 years old. You got 9 kids. I'm kidding. The Mormons are going to go, you can't have 9 kids. Well, Joseph Smith could have. He married 2 14-year-olds. He could have had 9 kids at 20, 21 years old. So anyway, your manliness, you're not going to be feeding the baby with a beer in your mouth or a cigarette in your mouth. And you're not going to call your buddies for, let's go bowling or let's go fishing or hunting. Those days... they're gone. So you look down and you're noticing, like at about 28 or 29, one of your testicles is shrinking. And you can't go to the doctor because the doctor says it's impossible. You can't shrink testicles. You've already been there 3 times. So you go, well, I notice it's getting smaller. So now you're getting up around, 33 or 35, and you've been to the temple, and now they're going bow your head and say yes, and you drive heavy construction equipment. You're not used to bowing your head and saying yes. You got at Kennecott Copper, you have 100 tons of dirt on behind you and a truck that takes an elevator to get up to the driving part of it. So you go to the temple and you're dressed in white and you bow your head and say yes, and you say in the temple you're not going to have sexual relations. They used to say sexual intercourse, but relations, when they said that, that was okay for me because I didn't have sexual intercourse, but I had sexual relations. So when the Mormon church found out about that word, they went and said, now it's sexual intercourse. Or now it's sexual relations, not intercourse. So anyway, they'll get your penis or your vagina one way or the other, and I'm telling you how they get your testicles. Okay, so you go to the temple. Now, Miss Sweetheart that you're married to, she has a ring on here, okay? And after she's 33 years old, and you've been married in the temple 8 or 9 years, she knows that you have promised, raise your right hand to the square, and God, angels, and these witnesses at this altar that you will not have sexual relations with anybody. She knows your penis is hers. She knows. She knows, and you know what? The Mormon church knows. So now they have control of the vagina in the house and the penis in the house. So you start to wake up, and she tells you, we're going to go to church Sunday. Would you help me get the kids dressed? And you go, honey, I'd like to have a day off. I've been working even overtime, and I work Saturday for 5 hours. Can I just sleep in? And she'll say, do you ever want to see a vagina again? And you go, yes! And so she will say, then get your suit and your tie on, sweetheart. So you do. And you do that for years. And you look down and you see that shrinking testicle disappeared. It's gone. Now that's scary. And go, oh my God, it's gone. I'm protecting the other one. Well, all right, protect the other one. So pretty soon you're called to the elders' quorum presidency or to the high priest president, or you're teaching gospel doctrine or whatever cult job they give you so you don't have time to think. And pretty soon you're going to say something like, well, we built a $5 billion mall in Salt Lake City, and we're not really helping the poor people. Oh my God, your stake president and your bishop are going to both say, we need to have a chat. So, when you hear that from a bishop or a stake president, you bend over and you kiss your last testicle. Goodbye. So you go in the office and they say, do you want to ever see a vagina again? You say, well, I don't know. It's been so long since I've seen one. I think I do. And they go, well, if you get excommunicated, your wife is going to leave you, and she will probably take her vagina with her. And you start to go, oh, shit, I don't think that's a good thing. And, men marry for basically availability of sex, not ability of sex. I've had... And I can say this shit because I'm going to die. I don't care. I've had triple or quad bypass. I don't care. I've had my wife reading a magazine and watching TV, and she says to me, when you're done, let me know. Now, there's a sexual girl. There's a girl on a trapeze. There's a girl that says, go get the whipped cream. There's a girl that naked dances above you. Oh, my. No, the Mormon girl. So anyway, you're tied in. You're tied in, and you're learning to bow your head and say yes. You're learning to feed babies, and you're learning the word of wisdom. You don't smoke, you don't drink. You now are going to be asked to have your tattoos removed, which is painful and expensive. And she'll say, I think that to be in the presidencies of the church, you need a good example, even for the Boy Scouts. Get those tattoos gone. And you say, well, honey, I've had those since I've been in the Navy or the Marines, and they have a significant emotional meaning to me. And she'll say, do you ever want to see a vagina again? And you go, so you go down to the tattoo parlor, you take them off because the church doesn't like them. You can't work in the temple with them, and your beard, your beard is gone. When I was asked to work in the temple in Los Angeles, in my mid-30s, the president said to me, the interview and everything, he said, now, Mr. David, I don't have a last name because the committee will get me. You need to shave your beard to work in the temple. And I go, I do? I said, it's kind of neat and it looks like a college professor. No, you have to shave your beard. And I go, oh, God, okay, well, bow my head and say, yes, I feel the other testicles shrinking again. I think I'm going to be Barbie doll with genitals if I don't start to stand up for myself. So I go down the hall of the Los Angeles temple. And of course, these paintings are expensive. They're $10,000 to $20,000 oil painting dollars of each profit as you go down the hall. And it's like 85% of them had these great big Quaker size Lorenzo Snow beards down to here, and I've got to shave mine off to work in the temple. Well, I was in a cult. I didn't think too much about it. I think about it now because I have my brain back, but back then I go, well, they want my beard off, they want my testicles. Here, you can have both of them. So anyway, as you get older and older, what happens to that? Jesus, I've married 2 cheerleaders, and they were both female. They were both female, and cute as hell. Good Lord, my one wife, and I know she watches these videos because I have demographics. I know what state she lives in, and it shows male and female. And she was hot. She was hot, and she was the head cheerleader. She always reminds me. She wasn't just a cheerleader, head cheerleader. And they went to national conferences and whatever. And she was cute and a fun gal. She was, and a returned missionary. A returned missionary. She was the one that was having sex every day in 11th and 12th grade. Then she went on a mission and came home and screwed the elders quorum president in the BYU parking lot. Hey, it's Mormon, and I'm a Mormon. So anyway, she's cute as can be. Well, we had, I forget, because I've adopted 1 or 2 kids. But anyway, we had a herd of kids. And there goes my computer again. And, she got a little too much junk in the trunk, if you know what I mean. When your boobs hang down to your knees. And your ass won't fit in a bucket seat of a new car. And you got to get 2 pairs of garments and sew them together so you can jump off the roof and get into them. I began, I'm a faithful husband. You're laughing now because I have a fat ass. I never did when I was married. When I got diabetes and I'm shooting insulin, it makes you overeat. It makes me overeat. So I'm fat now. So anyway, she and the rest of my wives and the girls that I married in the temple go, do you see this ring? Do you remember what you promised in the temple? You need to keep that weenie in your pants, huh? Do you know who Lorena Babbitt was? You're too young that she cut her husband's penis off. So your testicle is shrinking more and more. Now you wake up in the morning and your wife is a 2-bagger. Now, let me tell you what a 2-bagger is, okay? You put a bag on your head when you're having sex with her, and you put a bag on her head when you're having sex with her. So if one of the bags blows off, nobody will know who the other one is having sex with. You're protected. You're protected. So, I'm starting to get a 2-bagger. And I'm going, well, and there's advantages to, when you're a woman, boy, that vagina, you can get any man in the world and you're on top. You're on top of the food chain. But, once you're 45 or 50, you've slipped down the food chain just a little bit, and men have climbed up it. There's a lot of younger girls that will marry older men, and especially if you have any money. Not that they're gold diggers. But anyway, I have a wife that is 23 years younger than I am, and I was 23 years old when she was born. So here you've got this lady with the junk in the trunk, and the only time she does her hair is with a broom when she's not riding it. I know the committee's going to get me, and they're going to send that ex-wife to see that my testicles are truly gone. So as you get there to be 38, 40, you're moving people. If you're in the elders quorum, you're lifting heavy shit. And if you get backaches or troubles, the church doesn't care. Your kids are going off to college, and they say, you're not my real dad. I had a little girl. I have a little girl. Her name is Jenny. And her mother, I can't even do a tape on her mother yet. Okay, but when I do, it will be the frosting on the cake. Well, Jenny was born, and she's a happy little thing. She's very petite, and just happy, happy, happy. And I'm always saying to that wife, I said, you know, that is really a happy little girl. Why do you think she's so happy? And my wife looked me square in the face and said, because I haven't told her who her father is yet. There's an LDS girl for you. Line them up. I want a whole bunch of those. So anyway, you're trapped. That penis can't go anywhere else. It does sometimes with certain people in the church. The sad part is that sometimes that penis will go to daughters. This happened in our family. My mom cut my dad off from sex, and he molested my 9-10-year-old sister for 2 years. For 2 years before she finally got out. And he's a high priest in Topeka, Kansas. And we told the stake president and the bishop simultaneously in Ojai, California, what happened. They were outraged. You know what they did? Can you see a zero? Let me put it close to the zero. They did zero. So he moved to Topeka, Kansas, and we called that stake president and that bishop there and reported him. And you know what they did in Topeka? See that zero? It's the same zero they had there in Ojai. And then they promoted him to a high priest, and he calls me. He says, well, I've been forgiven. And this is a guy that basically molested my sister and then remarried because my mother divorced his ass. But he needed a place for his penis too. So, Jesus. His new wife weighs 350 pounds. And she rolled out of my Volkswagen bus in Colorado, hit the ground. It was grass, thank goodness. Rolls and takes down a little 3-foot picket fence. And I laugh. And my dad goes, that's not funny. She could have got hurt. I wish that she had got hurt. But anyway, that was my stepmother. Well, she had a 10-year-old daughter. And I met her one day, and she was crying her eyes out, the mother. And I said, what happened? And she said, well, I came down one morning, your dad was holding. They love the Mormon church because the child molestation can be covered so easily, and the authorities don't give a rat's ass. They push it under the carpet as long as you're paying tithing and you're bowing your head and say yes. So anyway, she said, well, I came down one morning and your dad thought that he ought to be providing extra seminary, early morning seminary, for his stepdaughter, and I caught them masturbating each other in the bathroom. Now, I don't know if this, I never did that in seminary. I would have gone more. I would have had a smile on my face, and I would have been anticipating if that was one of our activities. Sadly, it wasn't, and it shouldn't have been one of his activities. Well, I confronted him a little bit, and I said, well, you know, this is there goes my computer again. This is not your first time. This is not your first rodeo, Dad. And he says, oh, yes, it is. Now, here it is. Here it is. Be careful of that cult thinking because he's been in it a long time. He says, when we repent, the Lord remembers our sins no more. We're washed clean. Now, I'm only, whatever, 28 or 27, and I go, if that ain't a pile of shit, I don't know what is. But he's my father, and I thought, well, he knows more about Mormonism and repentance. So the first time he molested my sister for 2 years, disappeared. It disappeared. And now that he's molested the second one, the church is going to do nothing because they put him, or they think they're going to put him on probation or something. He's a child molester. He opened a daycare center. I called Kansas Social Services and shut him right down. Shut him right down. Anyway, now you're married And that little testicle is only that big now at 39, 40, 45 years old. The kids say, "You're not my real dad." They're off in college. They kick you to the curb. They say, "If you take me to Walmart, you're not my dad." And they say no all the time. Now you got the fat ass wife. Her ankles are as big as an oak tree in the redwood forest in San Francisco. And she knows no matter how ugly she gets and how fat she gets, she owns your penis because you're a faithful member of the Mormon church. And you don't have any choice. You either divorce her ass or you go have an affair. We have a senator here in Utah, which you never hear about this crap out there. We have a senator here in Utah that they just found naked in a hot tub with a 15-year-old. And I guess he said, well, Joseph had 14-year-olds, 2 of them. I can have one 15-year-old. We're just in the hot tub. We're not having sex. He's like my dad. This is normal thinking for a Mormon. And he didn't get excommunicated. Of course he did. The money he makes and the tithing they get, well, he got forgiveness. You see this molestation constantly in the Mormon church because these women let themselves go. And I have to give them a little bit of credit. When you've had 15 kids, your body doesn't look like the cheerleader it once was. So anyway, if you stay with that wife, and I'm certainly not advocating that you don't. Some men can. I couldn't, and I didn't. And I'm not ashamed of that. When my last wife said, "Do you want to see a vagina again?" And I says, "As a matter of fact, I do. I'm going to the Philippines and I'll see one tonight." And I'm going to bring her home and she'll be my new wife. And she'll be, half your age. And it's happened. So anyway, be that as it may, I'm sure the Mormons turned the tape off by now. Probably at the very beginning. But I'm telling you, when you get out there to be about 43, 44, and you turn over there and look at your wife who, makeup, it's going to be from Universal Studios. You're going to need a real professional makeup man to be able to take her down to the buffet. And once you get to the buffet, you got to hide under the damn table because she never leaves. She's asleep, and you have to wheel her out in a wheelchair. And she's eaten half the buffet. Well, by then, you wake up one morning, and you look down, and you go, "Oh, my gosh. My testicle is gone. I don't have any testicles." And you tell your wife, "Reach over here, look." She goes, "Where's your little testicle?" "I don't have it anymore. You took it." He says, "No, I didn't take it. I gave it to the Mormon church. They're the ones that put it in the vault up there, the granite vault up in Salt Lake. They have a whole row of 14 million men, which they don't have that many, testicles. And they pair them up and they put your name over the testicles." And the church authorities laughed themselves, not only to the bank because they got your money, but they got your nuts too. So if you want to be a Barbie doll and you don't want to smoke or drink anymore and you want to bow your head and say yes, now I'll tell you, the people who wear a white tie or a white shirt and tie to work every day, they seem to be able to do this because they come into the Mormon church, the attorneys, the dentists, the CPA. They don't have any testicles anyway. So losing them is impossible. So they stay faithful and they clean the toilets at the church because the church fired all the janitors. They're out of money. They can't afford that. And you go to the temple 4 times a month or a week. And so those guys have a tendency to stay in. But because they're so sexually repressed, when they say, "Well, we'd like somebody to be on the committee for pornography," there's 19 high priests. Me. Let me be the president. I hate gays. I hate pornography. And let me be on that committee. So I'm telling you, as a counselor, those that are most repressed and sexually stagnated are the ones that always want to be on the pornography. We need a couple of men to supervise girls' camp. I'll take care of the showers. the high priest and the elders, and you look over and look at their wives and they're slapping them silly. But the wife could be a sumo wrestler. So you don't screw with those wives. So you go to the bishop quietly and say, I'd like to, be at girls' camp, and I'll take care of the showers. So, this is the Mormon church. This is the people. This is how they think. This is the danger for children, and the danger for your testicles. So hang on to your testicles very tight if you become a Mormon man. Thanks.